Hello and welcome back. We're doing the 10K challenge in a creative world at the moment to do some design. Last time we decided to go for a 12 rocket silo approach to doing 10K. So that's 3 rocket silos, each producing 2.5K of science. That requires 250 of rocket parts, 2.5 satellites. And then it's a question of, so just how is this build going to work? So let's start off with the satellites. We can't prod mod them, unfortunately. Okay, if we had a 12 beacon build, we would need 2 assembling machines producing satellites. I have a feeling though that you can't run a satellite machine at that rate. You just can't feed it because it needs too many items. So unless you have bulk loaders or some other eldritch horrors, you can't run it at that speed. Anyway, it doesn't matter because it doesn't have prod mods in. So there's nothing really that we can do here to improve things. Now there's a choice to be made. Do we want to have a single build which produces all the stuff, and then, or do we want separate builds for different things? Looking at this, we may need separate builds, but let's start off with the easy stuff. So we can speed module Okay, so we just need one machine making satellites. It's going to need to be well fed, but just one machine. Gears. Okay, and give it some speed modules. Okay, so that needs 3 gear machines to feed it. Again, we may run into problems physically feeding the radar machine, but we can physically feed the gears. So if we need to, we'll have a second satellite machine. Okay, so we need some plates now for this. Let's imagine we want to make our green circuits on site for the satellite. Okay, so we do our normal thing here. Prod mods, 12 beacons. Okay, so that requires 3 green circuit builds, which is non-trivial. That, of course, is going to require copper cables. Let's try again. I was editing the wrong one, I think. Yeah. Okay. Now we're on copper cables. That's better. Okay, so the green machines must be running slightly under capacity because we need 3 copper cables. So I think we'll be fine there. Right, and then we've got copper and iron smelting. And remember, this is just the build for the radars so far. Okay, so we smelt with 12 beacon build. We need 11 copper smelters. And 57 iron smelters. Wow, goodness me. Okay, so that is looking like it needs to be a dedicated build. So I think we're going to need a build which just produces satellites. We're going to need 4 of these builds. And do I really want one of these at this size or one 4 times bigger? It's going to have to be one at this size because we've got 57, 68, 71, 74, 77, 78. 78 total machines, which is a nice size build. But if we went to double it up, that would then be a ridiculously big build. So I think we'll make a single module which produces radars, 12.5 radars a second, and that's going to be the next thing we build. Then after that, we will have a look at the other components for the satellite, which is the solar panels and the accumulators, and see if we can put together a little satellite assembling factory. I've got a feeling the issue isn't going to be the satellites, sorry, the solar panels and the accumulators themselves. It's going to be the things they need in turn to be built. And again, we've got one machine here making the radars. It would be tempting to push that over a boundary into where the satellite is being built, and I don't really want to build the satellite within the same place that the rocket's being launched from, because we've got to move all the rocket parts around as well. But maybe that might be the way to do it. Maybe the way to do it is to have the satellite made in the same area as the rockets are being launched, with 3 builds feeding directly in with the solar panels and the accumulators and the radars. I don't know. Let's see if we can come up with a radar build and see how it works. Okay. And again, I forgot to set my timer, so I don't know how far through we are on this. Let's go for a little bit more. Okay, so that's what the first build would look like. The second build we need is the solar panel build. Okay, this is another one where we can't put in speed modules. Sorry, productivity modules. And this doesn't look right to me. So yeah, this really doesn't look right. So the solar panels here, it's saying we need 286 solar panel making machines. I know when I built a 2K ratioed out build, I needed 3 solar panel machines. So what's going on here? Oops, don't want that. Go away. So one solar panel machine, let's make one. Okay, so there's a machine for making solar panels. There. And it takes 10 seconds for one solar panel. This obviously isn't what we're going to end up with, but it's just so that we've got it here. Okay. So this produces 52 a minute. and we need 250 a minute. So that's like 7 of these, right? 50, 100, 152, 250. That's 5 of these. So why is it telling me 200 and... Oh, hang on. Is our time here set to... Good grief. Okay, this is much better. I was making the build 60 times bigger than it needed to be because I had it base time on 1 second rather than 1 minute. Okay, that's better. Now all the numbers look much better. Okay, much better. All right, so this would require 1 radar machine, 1 gear machine, 1 green circuit machine, 1 coil machine, 1 smelter for iron, 1 for copper. That gives you your satellites. So we don't need a separate satellite build. Okay, so let's go back to this. That's five machines for solar panels. Let's do the accumulators. We can't put productivity in. Okay, 5 accumulators, obviously they consume essentially the same thing. Okay, that's better. So green circuits. Okay, so this is to produce all the green circuits for this. Okay. Grief, I was getting really quite worried about the size of this, but I was trying to build something 60 times too big because I had the base time set to seconds rather than to minutes. Okay, so here we are. So this requires 3 green circuit machines for the entire build, which is fine. Okay, then we need copper coil. Hopefully this will be 3. If it's 3, then we can use direct insert. Whoops. Don't want speed modules in there, I want productivity modules. That's better. Okay, 4 coil machines, so direct insert will not be enough. We either do bots or we have 1 extra green machine with direct insert. Okay. Right, so the next thing, gears, we will need gears. 1 machine. Let's put in productivity. Okay, that's 1 machine without any speed beacons or anything. That's just 1 gear machine. I'm not even going to beacon it up because it's not necessary. Okay, next thing. Batteries. Okay. This is a more significant build. Okay. 10 battery machines. So if you remember, we needed 7 battery machines for a quarter build for high-tech science. This is 10. So this requires more batteries than the high-tech science build. However, from memory, they don't use very much plate, so that's not a big issue. Right, sulfur is going to be produced this way. We only need 1 sulfur machine to power all of this, which is great. Okay, what are we up to on our stuff? The sulfur itself comes from petroleum. Okay, so this, we need 2 sulfur machines powering 1 sulfuric acid machine. That's fine. All right, then we've got the plates that need smelting. Okay, so we have quite a lot of steel. I'm going to do that separately for now. Let's do the copper. Okay, so we need 19 copper smelters. That is a significant number. So we may end up having to split this build purely because the copper requirements are too high. Although there's no obvious way to split it because we need 3k copper for the green circuits. Okay. So then the next thing is there's quite a lot of iron plate needed. Okay, so we need 18 iron plate smelters. That's for needing plates. Right, then we need steel. Okay, 23 steel makers. And for those, we're going to need some more iron plate smelters. $19. Okay. So this does now look like a full-sized thing. 1, 6, 11, 14, 18, 19, 29, 30, 32, 42, 51, 61, 69, 70, 89, 96, 106, 115. 115. That's how many machines are needed in total to provide all the things for the satellite except for the... Oh no, not for the satellite, sorry. For the satellite components, for the accumulators, solar panels, and radar. Okay, so there's kind of an argument here. Should I be doing these builds split this way, or should I have a single solar panel build which produces enough for 10k, for example, but just has 4 trains that come out to service the 4 areas? And I think on seeing it so far, it is kind of 6 and 2 3s which way to go on this. Okay. Okay, so let's go back to here. So I would like to ask, right, so we have 150 machines in total in this build. If we did a 6-row build, that would be 20 machines per row, 19 machines per row. That's quite big. Okay. Let's just ask about the steel itself. So that's 23 plus 19. Okay, that's 42. So we could double that, and that would be a sensible size. Yeah, so the way I'm going at the moment is, how about making all of these builds asking what size it would need to be for a 10k launch, and then scaling it down by factors of 2 or 3 until we get sensible size builds, and just relying on load balancing across trains to sort it all out across 4 launch sites or 3 launch sites. Because I think a launch site that had 2 silos above and 2 silos below a station would work. Okay. But the 1/4 of 10K building all this stuff on one site thing doesn't look like it's quite right to me. Okay, so let's put this up to 1,000. Okay, and let's put this up to 10. All right. So, and let's just look at the radar on its own then. So, if we wanted to produce enough radars for 10K, we still only need 1 radar machine. We need gears. Okay, we only need 1 gear machine. Okay. We only need 1 green circuit machine. Okay, and we can do direct insert on the coils. This whole thing's going to run very underspeed. Let's double check this really is to produce we want to produce 10 satellites a minute. That's 50 radars per minute. 50 radars really is this small build. Okay, 1 copper smelter. And 4 iron smelters. Okay, so this is a really tiny, this is a really tiny build. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 machines. So this build can be put in next to the satellite build. This can be part of the satellite module. And that's our 10K satellite build. So then, how big is the batteries for this? If the next thing we wanted was the accumulators, okay, so that's 20 accumulator machines, which is achievable. It's the inputs to them which are more frightening. Okay, that's 40 battery machines, and that's quite a big build. So that's starting to look like it might need a dedicated battery build. All right, and then let's look at the smelting. So this is for accumulators. Accumulators require plate and batteries, and that's it. So let's find out how much iron plate. "22 iron plate smelters. This is looking achievable. Okay, let's look at this. And 14 copper. All right, so we could build that would be 40, 60, 82, 96 assemblers. And that would produce enough accumulators for a full 10k rocket launch build. So it's looking like we're going to build the radars somewhere in a really tiny build, accumulators in their own build, then solar panels is the next thing. And let's see if we can do this really quickly. Okay, so the numbers here should be quite similar. The issue is going to be the steel, I think. Okay, green circuits. Whoops, we don't want a speed module in there, we want productivity. So 12 green circuit machines, that is quite big. Okay. We're going to need coils. "12 coil machines, that's fine, so this can all be direct insert. I think we're at the point where we have collected all of our plate. Okay. So 39 iron smelters. And 60 copper smelters. That's looking a bit too big. Okay, so we may have to split the solar panel build in half, and then we need the steel, which is, yeah, that's going to be big. Okay, so 91 steel smelters. And 76 iron smelters. All right. So, to recap, if we're looking at satellite stuff, I think we can build a single 10k radar manufacturing. I think we can build a single 10k solar panel manufacturing. Then I think we need a accumulator. Then I think we need a half-scale solar panel build, possibly with 2 steel builds tacked onto it. Okay, and then we'll have to look at the other components of the radar, which is the processing units, and then we'll need a smidge of low density structures and rocket fuel. But that's a thing for another time. I think we'll start building out some of these modules so that we have them banked. That's a job for another time though, so thanks very much for watching. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, and I will see you again soon. Bye bye.